Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome back to your Monday night. Yes, it is Monday night right here on XFilm.tv, and this is Avenger Pretenders. This week, we're actually going to do one episode. We're going to review episode number 4 of Secret Invasion. Yes, episode number 4. So, do us a favor, sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, be it adult or child, who cares? Popcorn or whatever else you want to snack on, sit back and relax as the geek and the redneck take you through this. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. Oh, I still have lights above my head. There we go. That looks a little bit better, not blinding you in my bald head. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Avenger Pretenders. I'm Sully. I apologize for missing last week, but you know what? Vacation's vacation. This week, however, oh boy.
Hey, you got to take them when you can get them, though. That's for sure.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh, we got to do what we got to do in order to have some fun. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man.
So we are going to take a wonderful travel down the road of Marvel once again, where we are going to be talking about Secret Invasion Episode 4. Episode 4. We were going to do 2, but plans outside of this
got
kind of diverted us, and that's okay, because you know JT was trying to set up his new new microphone, and it sounds amazing. By the way, sounds
got the lights on it.
Amazing. It does. It sounds amazing, and the other thing is because of vacation, I didn't get to fully watch all of episode 5. I got maybe halfway through it, and that's about it, unfortunately. But the good thing is we'll do it next week, where we're going to do a 2-hour show, probably about a 2-hour show. We'll do the first half of the episode as episode 5, and then we'll go into episode 6, because this Wednesday's the season finale. Crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It sucks that this is only 6 episodes. It just feels like the last 2 episodes, three kind of started to feel it, and 4, and especially 5, it just feels like everything is rushed now.
Yeah,
it feels like
all
flying through things, you know.
It's all coming to a climactic head, you know.
And Lord knows we all love climaxes
and head.
But I'm bummed.
I mean, who said that?
Giggity go.
All right. I mean, you know, just saying, just putting it out there, you know. So, yes.
Right.
We are going to get down to the nitty gritty of things, and we're going to start the ball rolling because, hey, needs to be done. Needs to be done. We need to kick some butt and take some names here. We really do, because, oh boy. A lot of things happened with this episode. A lot of things.
Shit has hit the fan, shall we say.
Yeah. Now, when we watch it, JT and I kind of converse.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Not all the time. But we do converse about the episode. And this week's episode clearly proved me right.
I think that was the only thing I said to you. Congratulations, you were right again.
Yes.
Or something along those lines. But it might have been a little nastier word-wise, you know, but
I can go back and look.
Only if you feel you must.
Let's see. I'll just go back and let's see. That's us talking about the microphone. So it's after that, I believe. And
I think so. I think it was before that.
Nope. July 14th at 5:15 p.m. The exact words you said to me were, and I quote, "So, very interesting episode this week. Another of your predictions was proven. Yes.
I didn't lie.
You did not lie. I don't think you were mad at
No,
it.
no.
I think it was just one of those things where I could write this stuff. You know? I could.
Right.
I could write this stuff.
Well, and it was one of those where it was like, I can see where you're coming from. I can see why you're saying what you're saying.
Yes.
But the question is, do I want it to be true or not? You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So,
And that could pose a problem sometimes. You know, not all the time.
not all the time.
I mean, when it comes to this type of thing, for me, I hate being right sometimes.
Right.
I really do. Because it kind of ruins it for me a little bit. Which sucks because I enjoy these shows. I do. However, very, very predictable.
This one has definitely been out of the realm of how the other episodes or other series have been. And what I mean by that is the other ones did not have near as much predictability.
Yeah.
As these 4 episodes, and I will even say these 5 episodes have been. There's been some surprises in them, but there's been a lot of predictability, which has made it really easy for you to say, I think this, and I think this, and I think that. And,
Agreed.
you know, it sucks when you write that much.
Agreed.
Or at least it sucks for us when you write that much.
I think it's just more along the lines of what it is like the way my brain works, you know? Which sucks, but at the same time, I kind of like it too. So what I mean...
You know, sometimes you have to try to figure out how to take yourself as a producer...
Yes.
...out of your head and just watch it as me.
Yeah, which...
you know?
Which is extremely difficult for me to do to begin with.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Just because of the way I am, the way my brain works. Like, it's just... It's hard. It's hard for me to separate myself. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
Right.
And I know I've spoken a lot about this on the other podcast, but it is true that when you come from that type of industry, it is very hard to separate yourself from pretty much everything else. And you have to go in
seeing those things and recognizing those things and stuff like that.
Exactly. So what I mean by that is obviously we start the episode off with some flashbacks from the previous episode. You know, previously on Secret Invasion. Yay. But it ends up with showing Gaia being shot by Gravik, and she's alive. Ha ha. Called it.
She revives herself somehow.
Well, she uses what is she?
She uses a machine.
She uses Extremis to revive herself. But what happens is they actually show a flashback of her going through the same experiment that Gravik went through to be able to use Extremis. So in a lot of ways, it was very good for her because she protected herself.
See, that's what really threw me off. That's what I did not understand. Okay. Her body.
Yeah.
Or correction, the Skrull body.
Yes.
Is laying out in the street.
Yes.
All crumpled up with a bullet hole in her chest.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here and I'm going, how did she do that? And then I thought, well, maybe, you know, they have her body in their little storage unit stuff there. So maybe her consciousness returned to the other body and she was able to get out and go in and get in the machine.
Quite possibly.
But what you're saying, if I understand you right, What you're saying is that she had done this previously
Yes.
and had that part put in her, the extremist DNA, I guess,
Yes.
put in her, and that is why all of a sudden she just sat up.
Well, they show it. They show her getting everything and putting it through the machine. I want to say hi to Neil, who says, quick visit. It's bedtime for him. And happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much, Neil, and great to see you, sir. Hopefully you'll stop by and see us tomorrow night.
And we'll be doing more of a birthday thing for him tomorrow.
Yes.
We certainly will, because we can. So the other thing is, we also see a flashback of 2012, which takes place after the events of Avengers. Because we see Fury meeting up with Vara in Paris. Oh, sorry, Paris. Right? Isn't it Paris?
Paris.
Paris.
Yes.
We say
Yes.
Paris. Everybody else says Paris. Well, they decide to discuss the Battle of New York and Fury's involvement. And, you know, she's like, no doubt something that you did. You know? Which, yes, they do.
Battle to save the world.
Yes. And they go on to, what was it? Her favorite poem, right? Or his favorite poem?
Hers.
Her favorite
poem.
Right. Which was Raymond Carver's Lost Fragment, right? Lost Fragment.
Yes. Yes.
And you can see that the two are sharing a bond together. You can see they're getting closer. So they weren't really together yet. Being the key.
I think they were. They were playing, you know, like a dating game kind of thing, in my opinion.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. I could see that. Well, from there, we see Vara going into St. James Church, where she meets Rava, also known as Colonel James Rhodes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't I call that from the beginning? A clue, Sherlock. We lost you. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. Actually, I said it first, but I didn't say it out loud. I just thought it in my head, and you stole the thought from my head and said it before I had the chance to. That's what happened.
Called it from episode 1. Well,
but no, yes, it was a good call on your part.
It was very good. And obviously Rava is impersonating James Rhodes, who's next to the president, to be honest. And he tells her that Fury must die. Gotta kill him. Gotta kill him, which is what we were saying from the episode before, was now he's got a hit on him. Because if anybody can take out the Skrull resistance, it's going to be Fury. You know?
Right.
He's got to die no matter what. That's what's happening. And we cut to outside the chapel, and Fury is listening into the wiretap.
Well, actually, he was at home. He was at his house.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was he?
Yeah, he was sitting outside at his house. He had the windows in the back, and you could see the table and all that.
Balcony, right?
He was sitting out like on a balcony or a deck or something like that. But yeah, he was at home.
Well, Gravik and the rest of the Skrull resistance are now preparing for an upcoming attack that they are going to blame the Russians for, while Gravik tells Pagan that Gaia was the mole and had to die.
Yep. She was dead. She is dead.
Makes sense.
No, no, I can see why he would do that.
Makes sense. What he doesn't know is that guy is still alive. Which brings us to a father-daughter moment. And that father-daughter moment is Gaia and Talos meeting up together, and he's blaming himself for putting her in harm's way. But she insists that it wasn't his fault. She did it on her own accord.
Right.
And what's the plan? Makes sense. What is the plan? Do you have a plan for us, Dad? Do you have a plan for our people, Dad? Have you figured out where we're going to live yet, Dad?
Right.
Makes
What are we
sense.
going to do? What's the plan?
What's the plan?
And do you actually have one this time? You know.
Yeah. And the only plan that he can come up with is thwarting Gravik and his plans.
Right. And then counting on the generosity of the American people that they will be accepted, blah, 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 blah.
Well, not just the American people. The world.
Well, yeah, the world. The world.
Which, and don't get me wrong, in a lot of ways, Talos is right.
Yeah.
There are a lot more decent people in this world than there are not so decent.
Right.
Although lately with social media, everybody's an asshole. So, yeah, that's besides the point. And I mean that as a collective.
Yes. Yeah.
Gaia kind of fights back on him. Like, seriously? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
And her comment as she's leaving, you know, was definitely a dagger straight to his heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gravik's got a plan and he's enacting it, and it will work.
Yes.
And you know, your idea of a plan is, you know, cinnamon rolls and Cinnabons, you know, with people, and it's just not going to go.
Yeah. But I will admit that Talos's line of thinking, and he says this, that Skrulls can and must learn from humans.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, what's happening with the Skrulls is basically what happens with humans all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what happened to their people. You had the Kree and Skrull War. It's mentioned in Captain Marvel, hands down. But he also states, listen, we're not all bad. Same as the humans.
Right.
We're not all bad. Because they will have goodwill and let them stay on the planet. Now, I agree with that, and I also disagree with it. The reason I disagree with it is because once they come out saying, hey, there's a million of us here, I don't know, shit's going to hit the fan.
People are going to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are not going to like the fact that these people have been hiding among them.
Right.
For 5 years at least.
Right. But at the same time, you also have New Asgard, where not only are the Asgardians living on the planet in Norway, but we also have other alien races living on New Asgard as well. So it's kind of a toss-up when it comes to that, which is great, by the way. It's great. Well, from there, we fast forward to Vara returning home, where Nick is at home, waiting. He's just waiting. And he says, and I cannot forget this, marrying you was the biggest mistake of my life.
Well, and I like how he prefaced that.
Yes.
of all of the dumb, stupid, irrational things I have done in my life, you by far are the biggest mistake of my life.
Mostly because she's there to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks the question, can you tell me why you chose the person that you chose?
Now, that was a cool story.
It was a very cool
That was
story.
a very cool story.
I loved it. I loved the story
Mm-hmm.
because she chose a patient at a hospital that she worked at called Priscilla Davis, where she was dying. She was dying.
Mm-hmm.
So the real Priscilla Davis is dead. But, and the reason that she chose this was even though that she was dying, she made a promise to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that promise, well, oh yeah, that's right. 3 promises. Sorry. 3 promises. 3 promises. Which was to continue her life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that way her kids and, you know, her family was able to be there and she would be able to experience it and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And what was it? Find love before death.
Promise. Continue to be a daughter.
Yes.
To her mother and father.
Yep.
And then never hurt
Nick.
Fury.
Never hurt Nick Fury.
Never hurt Nick.
Yep. So from there, they both pull guns on each other.
Well, and I like how they did it. It wasn't, it wasn't like the old Wild Wild West gunfight kind of thing.
No.
But it's how do I explain it? It's the way they did it is a sign of respect between the two people that we're going to put our weapons on the table.
Yep.
So that we do not have them. So we can have an open conversation without the fear of being shot under the table.
It was like one of those old school Westerns. Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Draw. Draw, you varmin. Draw. Hunting wabbits.
Want to say hi to Nikai. She just made it in the chat room. She's running a little bit late tonight. But what's important is she's here.
Absolutely. But the other thing is after they fire at each other, obviously they both miss and don't kill each other. So there's feelings there still. And
my question is this. Did she actually fire? I only heard one round.
Oh, no.
I only heard one gunshot, not 2.
Yeah, no, they both shot at the same time. Because if you look behind her and behind him, you can see smoke trails going up the wall.
Behind him? I didn't see anything behind him, but I saw the piece of plaster fall out of the mask that was on the wall behind her.
He shot that mask, and behind him, you could see smoke going up. So they both shot.
And then he goes.
This was proving that you can still do a Han shot first type scenario, because in reality, we know Han shot first because Greedo didn't even get his trigger on the gun. It works in this situation because after that, Fury jokes whether he and Varys should solidify their marriage again or call for a divorce.
Right. No, it was, should we get divorced or should we renew our vows?
Yes. And she laughed. She laughed.
I like that.
But at the same time, Vara now has betrayed Gravik and now has become a target.
Mm-hmm. And they even talk about that.
And they talk about that. And she even said, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Right.
Don't worry. I got this. And then she says, and I loved his response to this. So she says, if he would ever love her true self, she asks him, will you ever love my true self? And Fury replied with, we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. And he almost walked out without answering that at all.
Yes.
He almost walked out without answering that at all.
Yes. Which I thought was very interesting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if I would have anything to say to her either.
Yeah, but again, this is Nick Fury we're talking about, because
right.
Fury, and we're seeing it, Fury has a plan for everything. And I think the biggest issue right now is Fury was kept out of the loop a lot with the Skrulls.
Right.
So now things are starting to pop up and he's pissed. He's pissed.
Right. I would be too.
You killed his best friend. Big mistake, which I still don't think she's dead, by the way. We'll see. Who knows? But we'll see.
With this one, it's really, really hard to tell.
It kind of is.
You know?
I want to believe that she's not dead, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, from there, Fury decides to go pay a visit to his old pal, Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes, at his hotel room. But he goes in.
And how do you get into a hotel room when you're not a wanted guest?
Yeah. Yeah, well, in Fury's case, he can do it pretty much whatever he wants.
Right.
The cool thing is, Fury is talking to him as if he doesn't know he's a Skrull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he knows
he's playing a role at this point.
Yeah, he's playing dumb big time.
Mm-hmm.
But what he does is I like how he offers an olive branch, so to speak.
The whiskey.
The whiskey. Oh, the good stuff.
Or I'm sorry, it's bourbon, right?
Yes. Still whiskey.
Yeah, bourbon, not whiskey. They're different.
They are.
But like you said, they fall into the same category.
Yeah. But what he's doing is he's now telling Rhodey that, hey, Skrulls have infiltrated the U.S. government. They're close to the president. Things are going to go down. All this. I'm just being a nice guy.
And Rhodey's like, this stuff again, huh?
Yeah. And he tells him, listen, you reinstate me, I'll be quiet. I won't say a word.
Right.
And instead, he throws another curveball, shows him footage of the bombing in Moscow and how Gravik murdering Maria Hill was disguised as Fury, and is, using it for leverage, so to speak. Like, hey, no. Here's why. According to this, you killed your best friend. You are the one who caused this bombing. And oh, by the way, I'm taking the liquor.
Well, I like how he said, if you keep quiet, I'll make sure that, or I'll do everything I can to ensure that this and all of the copies I made get out.
Yeah.
I don't like the guy, but I love that line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's heartless right there.
But again, Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, Skrull. So yeah, he's going to be that way because they are trying to take over the world from within. Take over the top governments, topple the governments. You can take over, be done with it. So that brings us to Fury walking out. And then Rhodey walks out too. Because he's part of the Secret Service detail. But he doesn't know that Fury and Talos are in a car down the ways watching him. And Talos even says, how are we going to track him with all this Secret Service? And there was a liquid tracker in the bourbon that Fury bought.
Yep. Liquid tracker. I never thought of that.
Never thought of that.
That is a cool idea, though.
That's a really cool idea and scary, too.
Yes.
Very scary.
Well, and that's the problem with most of the good ideas today.
Yeah.
Is if it's a good idea, it's kind of a scary idea.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, kind of like AI. Good idea, but
yeah. So
anybody see Terminator?
Just a little. So from there, they're going to meet the president as he lands in England because they're going to be doing peace talks with Russia in a very supposedly neutral setting.
Right.
However,
not so neutral, is it?
Not so neutral. Not so neutral, especially when Rhodes calls Gravik and says, hey, car number 4. Car number 4. Car number 4.
We're on the way.
Where are you?
Castle is in the number 4 position.
Yep.
Bastard.
I mean...
You bastard!
Great way to try and assassinate the president. I will give them that.
Yeah. It was a very well laid out plan.
Yes.
It really was.
But clearly outnumbered. Big time. Because Gravik's forces were all disguised in Russian uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Saying,
but they all flew in Hueys. I don't think Russians have Hueys.
They don't.
So
they don't.
Let's there. You know.
That should have given it away. But when you're under fire like that, you're not paying attention.
Right.
Especially when it comes to the president, because now you're trying to protect the president as well as not start a war, which in Gravik's case, he's starting a war. It doesn't matter who gets shot or killed.
What he wants to do.
Right. He wants to start the war. So while things are exploding all around them, the president's car gets flipped over. He's the only survivor in that car. Everybody else is out fighting off the Skrulls dressed as Russian soldiers. And they are doing what they need to do in order to protect the president. Fury and Talos arrive to help.
Driving on a parallel road, and all you see is a smoke plume.
Yeah. And
the look that Fury and Talos shared before he turned was
an oh shit.
Perfect.
That was an oh shit.
We got a problem.
Yeah. Yes. Well, didn't turn out so well. So Talos, seeing that the president is in the car and stuck, is now trying to use his strength to break the window to get the president out of the car. While that's happening, though, he's taking bullets.
He gets hit one time.
He gets hit. Where did he get? He got hit in the shoulder, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was
it was Gravik's first lieutenant.
Yes.
That shot him.
Pagan.
That's his name.
Good old Pagan.
Well, Micaiah says left shoulder.
Left shoulder. It's true. Well, because he got shot, it's now making him harder to keep his human form. And now the Secret Service are going, Hey, wait a minute.
Mhm.
That's not good. It's not good at all.
And one of them even jumped up and said, "Hey, that's one of the monster guys getting to the president." And Fury's like, "No, no, 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 no."
But Fury was right there, like, nope, he's with me. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's with me. He's good.
Yep.
Because I mean, clearly Talos worked with him for years with Shield anyway. So Talos keeps going and gets him out of the car. Gives him the Fury. And as Fury is going in the opposite direction, an SAS soldier, which for those that are counting, that's the Special Air Service. So that's all England and everything. They are helping, so to speak. But, and I stress the but, Fury notices that the person that is holding and helping Talos is not a soldier, and he shoots him. And it turns out to be Gravik, of all people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was the way because he was just standing there holding Talos up.
Yes.
He was just standing. He wasn't moving. He wasn't trying to help, just holding him up.
Yes.
And Fury's like, something's not right about that.
Yeah. Well, then he stabs Talos fatally. Now, again, I don't think Talos is dead. I'll know more once I watch episode 5, which obviously next week we'll be doing 5 and 6. Again, I apologize, folks. It's been a long week. It really has been. Talos falls to the ground. He's in his Skrull form, and Fury empties his gun into Gravik's head. But Gravik is barely phased, barely moves, barely twitches, barely does anything, and uses Extremis to heal the bullet wounds. Kind of like the T-1000.
I mean, just kind of, it tore his face off.
Yeah.
Or right through his cheek.
Yeah. Just, blow a hole right through your face, and why not?
Right.
Why not? Well, from there they retreat, leaving Talos for dead. And Fury, who took an oath to protect the president, because really that's his job, leaves Talos behind.
He says, "I'll be back to get you."
But does he?
And he does say that before Gravik got a hold of him.
Yeah.
But when he took off, he was sitting there. It's like he wanted to go get Talos' body.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "But I gotta get the president out of here. But I want to get my friend. But I gotta get the president. But I gotta get my friend."
He was very torn.
The typical situation that you would have of leaving your best friend on the battlefield.
Yes. He was very torn.
Yes.
But by it. And that's okay. He's allowed to be torn.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I stress the but, I guess I'm going to get more answers with episode 5. Okay. Now, I believe
And I'm trying very hard not to give things away.
No. We got 15 minutes. We still got Easter eggs to go through, so don't you dare. Because the minute I'm done, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching episode 5. 'Cause I didn't get to finish.
Nikaya says, "Okay, then I just slammed in a double recap when I didn't need to. LOL."
Not true. Not true.
That was the plan. It was the plan to do 2 episodes tonight, but real life got in the way.
It very much was the plan, and it didn't happen that way. Didn't happen that way.
She says episode 5 was all caps awesome.
Nice. Well, listen, because it's episode 4, before I do my how many eye patches, there's some references and Easter eggs that we got to refer to, Just saying. putting it out there. Like,
So get to it.
like referring to the attack on New York, which we mentioned earlier in the show. That was a big part of, obviously, Nick Fury's life, because back in 2012, shit hit the fan. Shit hit the fan. I mean, think about it.
I love it.
It's only the beginning of the, Infinity Saga. Well, the first corner of the Infinity Saga. But yes, clearly we also have to worry about Colonel Rhodes being a Skrull because, hey, called it. And
I would like to know how they got him.
Yes.
I would love to know how they got a hold of him.
I think we'll see that. Because originally there was supposed to be, and this will probably be a continuation. They were supposed to do a miniseries of Armor Wars, which Rhodey was supposed to be a part of. Let me see here. I think, though, they changed it. Because they wanted Secret Invasion first.
Okay.
And then...
so the circumstances kind of changed, and they had to rearrange the order that they wanted to do things then.
Yeah.
Basically.
And if I remember correctly, they changed it from a series where they're now rewriting it to be a theatrical film. So Rhodey will actually head his own film.
Okay.
So
Nakia says that she loves that Sylvia person.
Oh yeah, Sylvia.
I call her the Lady in Red because every show, every time she's been on the screen, she has been in red.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
I call her the Lady in Red.
Yes.
And no, I'm not talking about the Simple Minds song either. How's that for a music reference for you?
That was a very good one for music reference for sure. Well, one of the other things that I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, is when Talos and Gaia are talking, they, he's a very firm believer that people of Earth will welcome them and keep them. And the one thing they keep referencing was the Black Panther. Black Panther, show them who you are. Be honest. Be true to yourself and show them who you are. And that's one of the things that Queen Ramonda always told her children, T'Challa and Shuri. So that was a very good reference to those two films.
Yeah, and that was, she started talking about that in Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Nakia says that she did not like the Lady in Red at first, but she has since changed her mind.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
When she first came, when she was first introduced, and when they kidnapped Fury and took him to her office, she was a bitch.
Yes.
She was a straight out bitch. But as time went on, she was still a bitch, but she was a bitch for the right reasons.
Yep. Absolutely.
When she was torturing the Skrull in the restaurant cooler, because I'm with Nakia, I didn't like her at first. I didn't like the way she talked to Fury. I didn't like the way she treated him or anything. But she kind of changed my opinion a little bit when she was torturing the Skrull in the restaurant. And, I'll leave it there because I can't say where I'm at with her now.
Yeah. Well, the other reference that we have is the liquid tracker that Fury gave Skrull Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's nanotech.
Right.
created by Tony Stark. So if you think about it, Tony is
so an Iron Man reference there.
Yeah, very big Iron Man reference. Western Echo just popped in and said, "Can't listen. Hope you guys have a good show and looking forward to the finale this Wednesday." Me too, because on Monday we're going to be doing episode 5 and episode 6.
Yes, Monday's a double dinger.
Real life kind of took a side trip for me this week, so yeah, we'll be doing that. So clearly, the nanotech that he had as the suit, Stark Industries has used, and obviously Fury got his hands on it because why not? It's Nick Fury. Right. He is the spy.
Hey,
you know,
he's got to have the most advanced equipment. You know, he's got to with what he does.
Yes, sir. So the other thing that we have to take into consideration is that we see Nick Fury as a soldier this time around, which the last time we saw him as some type of soldier was in Captain America Winter Soldier.
I was going to say, yeah, that was quite a long time ago. Yep.
But I like that he always says that he's got his own ride with a lot of his own weapons in it. And
right.
Shield.
No, I got my own ride.
Yeah.
Doors pop open.
Yep. And, takes out, a helicopter, which if you think about it, you can make that as a reference to the attack on New York when he shot down a rogue plane that was going to be carrying a nuke to destroy New York City. Right. We also see Gravik using Groot's powers.
Multiple times. He stretches out his hand and you see Groot's powers. The tree form from his arms. From his arm. So you know right then and there that he is going to be, or is already, the Super Skrull. But we haven't seen the other two powers that he's got. Right.
And he was, and you could see that even Fury was a little bit shocked by seeing him using Groot's powers.
Oh, his eyes down near popped out of his head.
Yeah. So
his eyes down near popped out of his head.
Yeah.
In shock.
So it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Now, lady that says asshole stealing that from Groot. Well, unfortunately, because of Infinity War, a lot of Groot was still left behind.
Right.
That had already broken off.
The one clue I will give for episode 5 is we finally find out what it is that they have been looking for that they haven't been able to find.
Oh, I'm sure it's something.
Oh,
just don't give it away.
I'm not.
I want to watch it.
That's the teaser for next week.
I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be great. So, from there, this week's episode, I am actually going to give it 4.5 eye patches.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, granted, I did call a lot of it, but again, I have to go in with an open mind here.
But did it take away from the episode?
No, it really didn't, and that's why I'm saying it's a 4.5 this time, because we're getting down to the nitty gritty of things, and we're getting down to the. I don't want to say the climax. I mean, we are coming up to the climax of the entire series, but we're now starting to see the action happen. We're starting to see Gravik's plan unravel itself so we can see exactly what he plans on doing. And by Fury getting in and thwarting the death of the president, well, now you have a witness that not only saved the president, but can get reinstated, and now he'll have a lot more things at his disposal. So, yeah, 4.5 eye patches for me.
Is that what happens? That's the question.
I guess we'll find out.
Are you saying that's what's going to happen?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Are you making are you calling a prediction? Yes or no?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
So he suspects, but he's not too confident about it.
I'm not calling a prediction only because there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that I'm still questioning.
I got you. Okay.
That I think will absolutely get answered in episode 5. I guarantee it, my answers will come from episode 5.
Gotcha.
So how many eye patches do you give it and why?
Nakaya, real quick, is giving episode 4 eye patches.
Nice.
For me, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the one thing that's bothering me is how crammed everything feels, how rushed everything feels from episodes 1, 2, and 3. And things started picking up at the end of 3, you know, and everything. But in 4, and honestly in 5 too, it just feels like everything is just being pushed in as fast as they can because they have to get to a certain point for the ending of episode 6.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of a pacing issue again for me, where it's just, you know, the first 3 episodes, and I did mention this, they felt kind of slow, you know. 3 was probably the best pacing for me so far, but 4 and 5, it just, you know, it feels like all of a sudden we went from right on I-95 going 60 to being on the Autobahn doing 180. You know, but I like what they did. You know, there's a lot in there, but I like what they did and how they did it. Okay. The attack on the president's caravan was perfectly done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The way the plan was laid out, and the fact that they had an inside guy telling you exactly what vehicle the president was in, you know, but the way that they hit it from multiple directions and you know, from the air, which is the hardest to defend against. They only had one vehicle there that was was able to fight and air attack. He was able to blow one helicopter out of the sky before he got blown up.
That is true.
And everything. The attack was awesome. You know me, because of my military background and everything, I'm very technical when it comes to these kind of things.
Absolutely.
The different formations and stuff that you saw, especially the forces protecting the president. Like when Fury and Talos had to get to the president's vehicle, they formed the double column. They were protecting them front and back.
Yes.
You know, and little things like that. I love how technically accurate they are continuing to be, because it does add a lot.
Well,
people might not feel like it, but it does add a lot to it.
You kind of have to be. I mean, that's the biggest thing is if you're going to do any type of military.
Well, especially for protecting the president.
Yes. You have to be one of those ready to, you know, you don't want it to get picked apart by people who are former military.
Like me.
You don't.
I mean, there are things that I could pick on. Like I said, when I think we were off the air, was the fact that they were using Hueys for transportation for the attack troops, but the Russians don't have Hueys, you know, and things like that. Minor technicalities that, you know, most people will just let slide.
Right.
Overall, I was sitting where you are. Okay, so I was sitting at 4.5. I was sitting at 4. Where Nakai is at on this one? So I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to go 4.25.
Okay.
4.25 eye patches. The biggest thing for me, like I said, the biggest thing for me with this episode and 5 is just how much it just feels like they're cramming too much in at one time. You know, I mean, why didn't you just do 7 episodes so that you didn't have to try and shove? It's like trying to put a double stuffed Oreo into a single stuff.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
this one was what, 45 minutes long? Pretty sure that's what the runtime was.
This one, 38.
Okay, so almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's either 38 or 39.
So I do have to agree with you. I do agree that they are cramming things into the episode. But
Right.
I think they're doing that for a reason, to show a sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'll find out more.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I guess I'll find out more when I see episode 5. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot going on
Mm-hmm.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And
you know, they've got to get a certain amount of stuff in to make sure that they're set for the follow-up series that are coming, you know, and setting things up for season 2 of Secret Invasion and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So I understand, but, you know, it just bothers me. They could have easily added 1 or 2 episodes and still been able to do what they're doing, but not have to. It just, like I said, it just feels like they're stuffing too much into the sleeping bag at one time.
yeah, probably. But honestly, only time will tell, really.
Right.
So we'll see what happens when it comes to that.
And we say that a lot with these episodes.
We really do. We really do. But like I said, I only got to watch the beginning of the episode of episode 5, so I haven't. Unfortunately, life got in the way, and I have to catch up. But don't you worry, because I will be. I will be catching up, because that's how I roll.
It sucks when real life gets in the way, but you know what? That's the thing about real life. It's real life.
It does. And you know what? Adulting is adulting, and you got to do what you got to do. All right, folks. With that being said, make sure you watch episode 6 this Wednesday, because next Monday we will be doing episode 5 and episode 6 back to back. Not only that, we'll also have our overall rating of the show.
Yeah.
And then we'll be on a hiatus until Ahsoka begins in the middle of August / end of August for 2 Ewoks.
Well, a couple of weeks off.
So, with that being said, tomorrow the Sully Show is live, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will have everything set and ready to go. We've got a lot to talk about because a lot happened last week. Holy crap.
No.
Jesus Christ, people. Seriously. And we'll also celebrate JT's birthday. Yay. JT had a birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear JT. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
So yes, we'll be celebrating JT's birthday tomorrow. So make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on Accidental Punch TV. For JT the Redneck and myself, Sully the Geek, we will see you all tomorrow for the Sully Show, and next Monday, where we will be reviewing episode 5 and episode 6 of Secret Invasion. With that, folks, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yes, we will, because that's how we roll.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye,
Bye-bye.
JT. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, JT.
Bye-bye.
We be out.
We're off there?
Nope.